Alright, hey guys, I'm back with my second video because I wanted to launch it like right away, okay? Because I already had the topic, I was ready for it. It's summer, it's a perfect time to share what things they don't tell you about in college or when you get to college or before college, whatever. So there's 5 things, okay? Money, relationships, your health, school, like your studies, and then finally your future. Those are 5 things I want to kind of take a grasp on, talk about them a little bit because yeah, they need to be discussed. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on all of my social medias. I will leave you guys that in the link below and the comments below and all that great stuff, okay? So first, money. So in high school, I was working a job at Outback. I worked at Outback Steakhouse as a hostess for 2.5 years, okay? A consistent income coming in. I worked about 3 to 4 days a week. Loved it. Was my first job, right? Then I get to college, and for me, my parents were like, no, we don't want you to work, we don't want you to, you know, get off track. We want you to stay focused, because at the end of the day, you're spending thousands of dollars and you don't want to, you know, screw up. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna get a job. I'm just gonna focus on my academics, which honestly worked out really well because, you know, I made the dean's list, which is all A's through both semesters, so that's good, right? But the downfall was I was also used to having a car in high school, so no car, no money, but I got a weekly allowance, a weekly income from my parents, right? And then I was on the meal plan. But something about the meal plan is they kind of shut that stuff down, like the cafeteria. They shut that stuff down kind of early. So like when it's late night and you're hungry and you might not have anything in your fridge, or it could get bad. It could get bad. You could start being hungry. You could lose weight. You could gain weight. You know, it fluctuates because you're starting to be on an unbalanced time. It's new to you. Your body's getting used to everything. You might be staying up late more. You might be going to bed early. Who knows? But it gets kind of hard. And so the best advice I would give about money is take your first year, your freshman year of college or whatever you're entering, whatever, if you're going from a junior college to a university, take it as slow as you can until you're into a routine and you're understanding that, like, okay, I'm able to balance everything and I'm able to, you know, just maintain like a good, you know, system with yourself. But at the end of the day, you know, you could be broke. Down here in Miami, let me tell y'all the hardcore truth, okay? I do not speak a lick of Spanish. I am from St. Petersburg, Florida. They'd be like, are you bilingual? No. So sometimes it's the little things, but then it's like you gotta remember, like you gotta give, and like you gotta give in order to get, you know. So it's like, okay, I might not be working right now, but like in the future I could probably be in my career. I could probably be making the money I really want to make, you know. I don't have to force myself to go to a job like fast food jobs and working like at like clothing departments and things like that. Like people do not like that stuff. So yeah, so money is definitely a thing, you know. People kind of find themselves like with a GPA bank account, which means you got a 3 point. Yeah, me personally, I would not let my, and I don't even have a job, but I would not let my bank account get below 50. Like once it got below 50, I felt dead broke. Like I already felt broke, but I felt dead broke, like no, lifeless, like, because it was just like, okay, if I go under 50, it's gonna be like spending like this, because that's how I got there. So, you know, you just gotta trade for trade. Kind of work out a balance between maybe whoever's giving you your income, your parents, your grandparents, friends, whatever, like whoever's giving you your weekly income, or if you ever even get income. Just find your balance. Start to like make a chart or something, or like, you know, plan out, okay, this week I'm going to spend money on this and that, because you will spend money fast. I mean, you got to spend money on your textbooks, you got to spend money on your, if you have a car here, if you're blessed, you got to spend money on parking, you got to spend money on food, obviously food, you gotta spend money. Sometimes they even, like here, they'll take out money for a gym membership, and some people don't even go to the gym. So money is a big deal sometimes, but you just gotta find your balance with that. The next thing I want to talk about is relationships with your friends, relationships with your family, and then boys and girls. That, yeah, a little more freedom. You think it's slick, you're not. Bump. But anyway, so relationships with your friends. What I personally experienced was, like, in high school, I was very, like, I knew a lot of people, but I did not call a lot of people my friend. So therefore, like, it kind of didn't really make a difference for me to go to a different, because I transferred high schools too. So I went to 2 high schools. So, like, I had the experience of not having friends. And I can kind of go into depth with that as a next video, but I had, like, a limited number of friends, and then I had a whole bunch of people I knew. And so it was kind of like, you know, transferring and going to a different school is kind of like the same feeling of not knowing anybody and being put into a new environment. So you have to make friends, make associates, whatever you want to call them. It's on you. But be aware that people do change, and whether people tell you this or whether you don't, if you listen to it or you don't listen to it, people change. And people will change before college, during college, or maybe even 2 years into their college, because people are still finding themselves, and people are still finding who they want to be and who they are and who they want to surround themselves with. People that were probably your friends back in high school who did not go to college are probably not your friends. Like, for me, like, some people that stayed at home, I don't talk to them as often. And that's just how, like, stuff works out sometimes, you know, people come and go. Relationship with your family, if you're a person who, you know, all you feel like you have is your family, keep that relationship, keep that bond strong. Because a lot of people, like, what I see is, like, freshmen, they'll come in and they will not be ready to separate from their family. They'll not be ready to, you know, say bye to their mom or whatever. And you know, at the school I go to, people commute often. So it's like majority of people still live at home. But it's still, like, say, like, I have a friend, you know, that goes to FSU and FAMU and all that stuff. You know, they know people that are homesick. And it's real. Like, you will miss home. You will miss the home cooked meals. You will miss all that stuff. So it's best for you to keep that relationship, stay in contact, call when you need to, because your family always loves to hear from you. And if you can go home, feel free to go home. But with that being said, don't go home every weekend like some people do. Do not do that, because then you haven't grown up. So, like, it's all about your balance. And then finally, relationships with boys. Well, I'm gonna talk about the boys part because I don't swing that way. Okay. So, relationship with guys. All right. So right now I am in a relationship, okay? But prior to my relationship, I was about, okay, so I got to school in August. I got a relationship in December. I was about single for like 4 months, 5 months, 4 months, 5 months. And the most trouble I had when it came to guys was simply the fact that, like, the approach from the jump, especially from, like, the frat boys, the athletes, the ones that just don't usually have that good rep, kind of, for me, followed that rep in the sense of, like, basically, like, I don't know, just falling into the mix of being what you expected, like, coming up to you, hey, yo, what's up, how you doing? As soon as you shut them down, okay, they're right behind you, turning around, talking to the next girl, giving her the same spiel. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's genuine. So don't come into college looking for something genuine from, like, the big time athlete or the big time frat boy, because at the end of the day, they're not focused on a girl most of the time. They're not focused on you. So, like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, You gotta think reasonable. You gotta know what you want, and don't forget what you came here for. Okay, don't forget who you came here for, and that should be yourself. You didn't come here to find a relationship. If a relationship happens, like it did for me, it happens. Okay, but you still gotta remember, you're on your grind. You're trying to go to your career. You're trying to, chase your dreams, chase your goals. So focus on you. With that being said, I feel like if you do pursue a relationship and you really find a good bond with that guy or that girl or whoever it is, truthfully, like, if they are helping you and motivating you, keep them around. Don't listen to people. Here's the other thing, because there's two sides to this. There's people that feel like there's relationships that shouldn't be in college, and then there's people that are pro relationships and see it working. And I'm kind of like, obviously, pro relationships, because if I find somebody, it just happened, like, this person supports me, so let me keep moving up with them. It's good. But just remember your values, because a lot of that stuff kind of dwindles as things are changing, as you're learning who you are and learning what you want and focusing on what you want to do. So just keep your tunnel vision, you know what I'm saying, and you'll be set. So my next thing is health. You need this. You will need this. You will need this, because you will get fat. And if you want to get fat, girl. And fat is not a word of like saying fat is bad, but you will gain weight. You will gain weight. You will gain weight unless you starve yourself because you have no money. But there's snacks. There's dollar snacks. Once it levels out. You kind of grow into that woman or that man or whatever you're trying to be. But you will gain weight. In fact, I told myself, because I played volleyball in high school, right? So I was like, no, I got this. Like, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna do all this stuff and I'm gonna stay in shape. Nope. Freshman 15 got me by the neck and pulled me back. No warnings. It just happened. One day it just happened. And I can't say nothing about it, but look, you get a little, ooh. But it's all good. Just work on your health. Try to, keep balance. I'm going back to being healthy now. Going to the gym at least 3 times a week. Eating fruits and vegetables. Having a healthy protein. Staying away from junk foods, sugary foods. A lot of times those are things that easily will get to you. More fruit snacks like me. Like chicken nuggets like me. Everything snappy. So just beware of your health. When you get sick, don't be afraid to go to the school doctor. Be mindful of your sexual health too. You're grown now. So, your parents aren't here to say, okay, do this, don't do this. But it's important that you practice like safe sex and condoms and stuff, because you don't know what people got out here, and you don't want to get got. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get none of that. So protection, protect yourself. Me, myself, I'm on birth control. That was something I got on, with having bad periods, but I'm glad I remained on it, because it's just something you want to protect yourself. You have a future. So, safe sex, birth control, knowing who your partners are, knowing their history, in a sense of making sure everything's clean so that you can protect yourselves and they can protect themselves. So your overall health is important in college, and don't forget it. And even if your mama says don't do it and you end up doing it, just remember me, okay? Because I said just be careful, okay? And then school. So you're finding out your major. Sometimes that can be tricky. I mean, I know some people are like, I don't know what I want to do. And for me, it just came with talking to a guy. And I'm going to share this story in another video. But basically, he inspired me in a sense of getting to know people that you normally wouldn't talk to can bring out a different light and a different inspiration for me. And I knew I wanted to be on TV, but I didn't know what I wanted to do on TV. So it's kind of okay, he was able to open up to me, and he didn't, I didn't even know his first name. So the way that story goes on is to it's like a life lesson, like be open to the different majors that are offered at your school or your university, but be mindful and be reasonable, because like by your junior or senior year, they'll probably want you to be sturdy on a major. That's really when you jump into it, because you take the, you know, the basic classes as a freshman and sophomore, and then you start jumping into your major. So just find what you're passionate about. Like get involved. Me personally, I did not get involved my freshman year because I was really focused on passing school. I was actually in a program that if I did really, really good, I would get money from the school in return. And so that was like where my parents wanted me to really focus on, was academics. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, be involved. Like, I would say do one or two clubs. If you want to work, but like remember, you have to build your resume. So like for me, as a broadcast media major, my freshman year, so far I've visited a radio station here in Miami, applied to those internships, about 14 internships to intern in the fall, hopefully, prayers up, and then third, write my first article for the school's newspaper in order to get on the school's radio station, doing TV broadcasting and sports broadcasting and things like that. So it's kind of like, be involved, build your resume, look outside your school, see what jobs are open outside your school that have to do with your resume, because experience wise, that goes a long way. And finally, the fifth thing, even though I wasn't counting this whole time, but this last thing is, remember who you're here for and remember your future. Remember why you applied to the school you're going to. Remember why, you know, where you want to be, what money you want to make, how many figures you want to make. Just remember, like, all those good things, and remember the people who are behind you to support you. A lot of people end up, you know, not saying any of these things are bad, but they do put a barrier in your way. So dropping out, you know, getting pregnant, partying too much, and that's one thing I did not talk about, because the way I balanced it out for me was I barely partied, because it's too expensive in Miami, and it's a simple fact that I don't even go to a party school. Now, if I did go to a party school, would I have a different experience? Probably yes. But for right now, you know, I say you go out, enjoy yourself. But remember, like, if Sunday's your day to do homework, Sunday's your day to do homework. So if Saturday's your day to go out, okay. It's like Mondays, gym, Tuesdays, whatever. Like, have your balance, what you want to do. And then I would say always, like, have inspirational stuff, you know what I'm saying? So like, I went to an event, and it was called Sip and Slay, and here's something like the girl gave to me. It says like, slay in every way, and it's kind of like a reminder, like, okay, like, I'm here to do me, and I'm here to, you know, like, ultimately reach my goals, and ultimately, like, be you know, a positive role model to, like, people back home and the people I, like, end up meeting in the future. So it's kind of like, where I am and where I want to be is two different places, but at least I know every day I'm building to where I want to be. So when you backtrack, you will backtrack in college. Like, for example, I said I gained weight, so it's kind of like, okay, that was a backtrack for me, but the comeback is even better. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just be ready for difficult times, be ready for late nights, be ready for hard professors. Use Rate My Professor in your studies, use Rate My Professor, but remember why you're here, and remember who you want to make happy, and at the end of the day, that should be yourself. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on what things to expect when going to college, before you get to college, and I'll see you guys for my next video. And then remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and follow me on all my social medias. Bye.